The haystack, or rather whoever or whatever is inside it, is no longer responsive to your inquiries.
Here, this might help your sneezing.
Oh, thanks. Here, you can have this back now.
You retrieve the partially used cloth from the haystack.
Feel better?
Yeah, it's so good to be able to
A shiny silver needle lays on the ground near the haystack. You take the silver needle. You are inside a cute little antique shop. Old furniture and knickknacks clutter the place. Against the wall, a low bench displays an assortment of items. Ah, dragonfire! Oh, no, wait. It's just a mounted dragon head. Whew. Twin axes grace the wall above the front door. You wonder if they serve as a security measure for intruders. A large and incredibly hefty-looking mallet is propped up against the shelf. A small engraving on its head reads, Broggy. An expensive-looking statue catches your eye. It is sculpted of white marble and appears to be the only item of any real value within the shop. You find it quite odd that this grand statue is situated amongst other ordinary items of far less value. You are inside a cute little antique shop.
Good afternoon. What can I do for you, dear?
Hello. Do you sell anything that would aid in ascent up a mountain?
Unfortunately, I do not sell climbing equipment, or anything of that sort. This is really a specialist store.
Oh.
However, I do have an item which you might find useful. This lamp is said to contain a genie. Never tried it myself, of course. I do not believe in using magic to solve my problems. Nature has made us as we are, and we should be glad of that.
Uh-huh. How much for the lamp?
The old lady hesitates. You sense she wants more from you than your money. You hope it is not anything that you will regret.
Well, seeing as how you are a man who seems adept at taking care of himself, perhaps you could do a small favor for me?
Somehow, you knew she was going to say that.
I once owned a beautiful nightingale, quite rare around here, but the sentimental value far outweighs its monetary worth. That foul old witch Hagatha has stolen it from me, probably to use in some concoction or another.
Her nose screws up in disgust.
So, if you could be a sweetie and retrieve it for me, I will trade you. The lamp for the bird. Agreed?
Well, I will see what I can do.
Do be careful. If Hagatha should spot you out of her good eye, then you'll be in for it.
Yes?
Could you recommend another good book?
There!
This book is entitled Legends. Browsing through it, you notice an interesting excerpt.
Yes?
Could you recommend another good book?
There.
This book is entitled Power, Politics, and Pulpits. Browsing through it, you notice an interesting excerpt. This area is somewhat dark and foreboding. Unease creeps over you, and you sense that if you dally too long in this place, you may live to regret it, or worse, you may regret it and not live at all. It is a human skull with a radiant blue stone wedged into its eye socket. You can't see a thing past the cave entrance. Judging from the smell wafting out of it, you're not sure that you want to. Unless you are mistaken, the symbol above the cave entrance bears a striking similarity to a bat. A shiver runs down your spine as you look at it. It's almost as if some dark force were radiating from it. It is a human skull with large eye sockets. As you attempt to place the birth gem into the skull, you discover that it does not fit properly. Instead, it juts out uselessly like a bulging eyeball. You gently tap the birth gem with the mallet, hoping not to break it. It budges only slightly. You give it a harder hit. It moves a bit more. You hold your breath and give the gem an almighty thwack. It pops into the skull. Unless you are mistaken, the symbol above the cave entrance bears a striking similarity to a bat. A shiver runs down your spine as you look at it. It's almost as if some dark force were radiating from it. As you face the skull towards the image of the bat above the cave, you notice that its wing has faded slightly. However, you suspect that whatever danger the bat represents is still in effect. As you near the cave, the bat symbol above the entrance starts radiating an ominous black glow. You turn the rightmost skull so that it faces the bat symbol above the cave entrance. The power of the two skulls combined has caused the bat symbol to disappear. You sense whatever danger it represented has now subsided. As you enter, you are almost overwhelmed by the foul stench which molests your nostrils. It is obviously coming from whatever Hagatha is cooking in that large cauldron of hers. There are some things of interest on the other side of the cave, but you have no means of crossing over there safely at this time. A caged nightingale sits on the floor near the northern cave wall. The light from outside barely penetrates the interior of this cave. So long as you keep your distance, Hagatha shouldn't notice you. This is the ugliest old lady you have ever seen. She has warts all over her face and matted gray hair. She clasps her stick with claw-like hands. A simple but elegant black cloak hangs on a stand. Being as quiet as a mouse, you slide your hand inside the cloak to discover a deep pocket. Amongst sticky and disgusting spell ingredients, you find a tiny silver key and a peculiar golden ring-shaped device. You need to get... You silently drop the cloth over the cage. You slide the silver key into the lock. It fits. You turn it silently, and the chain falls to the ground. Without making a sound, you take the nightingale into your possession. You hear Hagatha begin a chant of some kind while stirring her brew.
The fluid of blood with bone and flesh.
You strike the skull with all your strength, and it shatters easily. The birth gem clatters to the ground, along with a multitude of bone fragments. You reacquire the birth gem. You remove the cloth from the cage. Looking at the bottom of the cage, you find that a letter has become stuck to it. You peel it off. The paper is slightly crumpled and dirty, having somehow become stuck to the bottom of a bird cage. You read the letter. The letter puzzles you, but you put it away and continue your quest. You offer the nightingale to Angelina. The sheer elation on her face almost makes the whole risk worth the while. She snatches it from you and proceeds to fuss over the bird. You wait for a moment, but it seems she no longer notices you.
If you don't mind, about the lamp you promised me in trade for the nightingale?
The shopkeeper looks up at you vaguely. She gradually remembers that there is another being in her world.
Yes? Oh, yes, take it. You'll have no beginning of use with it.
Don't you mean no end of use?
Of course. Whatever you say, dear.
You hear Angelina muttering cheerfully to herself as she exits.
Finally, I have the final ingredient for that marvelous youth potion. I'm going to beat you to the punch, my dear Hagatha. Serves you right for hoarding this sweet, juicy thing to yourself.
You feel a nauseous tinge in your stomach. Well, at least the lamp is now yours. You take the old lamp. You rub the lamp and wait expectantly, but nothing happens. You're about to give it another try when a small puff of smoke appears at the end of the spout. It clears, revealing a note. As you remove it, the lamp disappears. You read the scroll. You examine the statue up close. Aha! There is a hidden latch on it. You flick the latch. A trap door opens up in the floor. You close the trap door behind you. You read the letter sitting on the desk. This is a secret room located directly beneath the antique shop. Obviously, the proprietor uses this room as a storage area for her worthless wares, although there may be something of value down here. As you pick up the carpet, you notice a small label which reads, "Property of Al Din." There might be a faded letter or two in there, but you cannot be sure. Above you, from the back room, you discern Angelina's voice.
I did it! I did it! The youth potion is finally finished. All I need to do now is drink it.
Angelina, show yourself, you scurvy wench.
Hagatha? My dear! What an unexpected surprise!
Don't you play the fool with me. I know you stole it.
Stole? Really, I do not know.
Silence. For your lies and deceit, there can be only one consequence.
No, please. I can explain.
I said silence. Oh, and one more thing. Your invitation to join us is revoked. What is this? Ah, the youth potion at last. Oh no! Drat! Now what was that spell for removing floorboards? Curses! I shall have to go back and look it up.
You fish around in the pile of down and successfully retrieve the youth potion. Cautiously, you open the trapdoor ever so slightly and peer into the room above. Hagatha is nowhere to be seen. You make your exit from the basement. You flick the latch. The trapdoor closes and conceals itself into the floorboards once more. Placing your grubby hand, you have no desire to go back there. You unroll the magic carpet, lay it on the ground, and sit on it. The carpet begins to rise skyward. As you ascend higher, you realize that the carpet is beyond your control. It glides through the air on a seemingly predetermined course. The sky is splendid during the height of the day. The view is incredible from up here. Below lies the land of Kolyma, stretched out before you. You can make out the coastline, most of the forest, and a dismal, swampy area to the north. A snake blocks your path to the east. It appears to be about 10 feet long and is coiled up, ready to strike. It is a simple but carefully woven pendant of seagrass. A shiny opal dangles from it. You dangle the shimmering opal in front of the snake. It soon falls hypnotized in typical snake fashion. You cannot see a great deal of the cave from here. The cave is adorned with the most beautiful coverings you have ever seen. The material sparkles in the light from outside the cave. There's almost something unreal about this brilliant decor. This long staff looks magical in nature. Some incredibly valuable furniture has been placed here. You wonder how it is protected against the elements, as there are no obvious means of sealing the cave. A number of candles and dimly lit hanging lanterns adorn this small cave. They do not aid your vision much. Fortunately, enough sunlight enters from outside the cave entrance, providing adequate illumination for you to see by. A neatly displayed scroll hangs on the wall. However, its archaic symbols and wording will forever remain a mystery to you. An ancient book lies open on the workbench. Though its pages are torn and faded, the cover is still a bright blood red. You notice that some writing has been engraved into the wall. You read the inscription. The engraving on the wall reads, "In row of stones that number 6, half and a pair from left do pick. Quell then my spell, avoid the tricks." You flip through the book entitled, Ye Old Book of Enchantments, Causes and Cures. The first half contains a list of enchantments. These do not interest you, as you have no desire to inflict inconvenience upon others. However, the Cures section does capture your curiosity. While browsing, you spy a promising paragraph. You approach the workbench for a closer look. You manage to dislodge the crystal that had been set within the hilt of the sword almost a millennium ago. You feel a tinge of guilt and wonder what all the past monarchs of Daventry would say if they saw you damaging ancient crown property. Nothing happened. You toss the earrings into the beaker. You toss the sickly yellow flower into the beaker. Nothing happens. You strike the blade of your sword against the flint stone. It sparks, and the wick catches alight. You watch, fascinated, as the two unlikely objects melt under the heat of the magical flame. You stir the mixture carefully with a white feather. It soon dissolves in the hot liquid. You drop the crystal in and watch, amazed, as the green liquid slowly seeps into it.
Heed now these words. Crystal, perfect. Green is thy hue. Restore, correct. Guard well my form. Preserve, protect.
You recite the words correctly, line for line, and sure enough, only a brilliant emerald remains in the glass beaker. You quickly blow the flame out so as not to overheat the emerald and cause damage to it. Picking it up gingerly, you're amazed that the emerald took virtually no time at all to cool. Enchanter staffs are very powerful objects. You dare not touch this one. for fear of the consequences you may bring upon yourself. You cannot remove the engraving. It has been chiseled into the rock. You walk closer to read the engraving once more. You read the inscription. The engraving on the wall reads, As you direct the sun's light through the emerald at the snake, you behold a wondrous transformation. Before you now stands a magnificent winged horse.
Thank you for freeing me. A horrid enchanter transformed me into that legless thing after I refused to be his steed.
That was quite a gamble, to refuse an enchanter.
True, but I could not have accepted, even if I had wanted to. For I am a disciple of the cloud, and can serve no land dweller.
Disciple of the cloud? What does that mean?
First, tell me of what you seek up here.
You take a deep breath, then explain about the door of destiny, the gems of nature, and your present quest to locate the growth gem.
So, you seek the air gem?
Yes, that is right. You know of it?
Most certainly. But you will not be able to reach it by any means available to you or any of your kind. I would gladly take you to it, but alas, the enchanter took and hid from me my bridle. Without it, we could search for 1,000 years and still never find the cloud spirit.
Where did he hide your bridle?
I do not know. Perhaps a clue may be found in that blackguard's abode behind me.
What is this spirit you speak of?
The essence of what you seek. It passes through us as we grow, all through our lives, though few are ever aware of it. You will know soon enough when I take you to it.
Why do you choose to serve this cloud spirit?
It is my destiny, and I must fulfill it, just as you must fulfill yours.
I was not aware that I had one.
All of us have a destiny. Some are predestined, others are determined by choice. I believe yours to be of the latter.
You don't have anything else to say to the steed. It would be too dangerous to use the magic carpet near those jagged... You unroll the magic carpet, lay it on the ground, and sit on it. The carpet rises into the air again. The carpet begins to descend. You bend over and hold the emerald above the stone so that the sun's light channels through it. Incredible! The rock has transformed into a silver-studded bridle. You take the bridle. There's not enough room to use the carpet here. You unroll the magic carpet, lay it on the ground, and sit on it. The carpet begins to rise skyward. As you reach down to get the carpet, it vanishes into thin air without even so much as a puff of smoke. You slip the bridle over the horse's head. It whinnies its approval.
Come, climb upon my back. Hold on, this will be a little accelerating.
The disciple of the cloud gracefully soars high into the sky. You grip the reins tightly and hold on for dear life as he swoops and dips between the clouds. After a time, he draws near to a thick patch of luminous mist. As you pass through it, the horse sets itself down, seemingly on top of a cloud.
It is all right. You can dismount now.
Believing that you have finally lost all sense of reason, you dismount and prepare for a very long drop. And find yourself standing on a cloud.
How is it possible that I can stand upon thin air?
Such are not the questions you should be asking. You have come for the Air Gem, or the Growth Gem, as it was once named by the ancients. It has not been termed thus without reason, for one who would have the gem as his own must prove himself grown and thus worthy of it.
Meaning, no disrespect.
Cloud Spirit.
Thank you. You must agree, Cloud Spirit, that I am a man fully grown, thus fulfilling your prerequisite.
A howling wind deafens you momentarily, though you feel nothing on your skin. The Cloud Spirit speaks again, a little more forcefully.
It is not enough that you have grown in body. That much is evident. It must be proven that you have also grown in both mind and soul. So on these shall you be tested.
Tested?
Those who bear the burden of king are expected to possess certain qualities. Your actions will be judged against the weight of these. It shall be seen whether you are deserving of your title. It shall be seen whether you are worthy of the Growth Gem.
After a moment of silence, the Cloud Spirit intones,
Behold your first test.
The mist around you clears, and you find yourself in a familiar place. This is Daventry, and furthermore, you are a child again. A slight dizziness overwhelms you for an instant. How strange, you no longer recall anything past this moment in time. It is as if this is happening again for the first time. Even stranger, you are still vaguely aware that you are undergoing a test of some kind, though for what purpose you cannot fathom. But look, it is Malvolio, your best friend. The two of you are deeply engrossed in a game of bat and ball.
Ouch!
Uh-oh! That sounds like the king now! What do we do?
You there.
Yes?
Yes? Is that how you address your liege?
No, Your Majesty, King Edward, sir. I mean, sire.
Which of you two boys threw that ball? The one that just happened to land on my head?
You summon all your courage and speak up.
Your Majesty, if you please, it was I who hit the ball over the castle wall. It was my fault completely. Please do not punish my friend.
The king eyes you carefully. You wonder if you are now in serious trouble.
I would not punish one for something so trivial. However, I will see you play your game elsewhere, away from here.
Yes, sire.
One more thing, my young fellow. You have demonstrated good character today by taking the blame for your friend. The finest knights in this realm demonstrate their compassion by protecting others, even if that should mean putting themselves at risk. I find that to be a rare quality in the many I meet. When you have grown up, I hope to see you again, perhaps in my service.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
Behold your second test.
You feel yourself growing older, more so than before the tests began. Again, dizziness overcomes you. Your memory of the previous test fades, and in its place, your mind is filled with the knowledge of everything that has since come to pass. This includes, unfortunately, the dreadful misfortunes which have plagued Daventry since the coming of the terrible three-headed dragon. To make things worse, your 17-year-old daughter has been demanded as its latest sacrifice. In return, it will not harm the rest of the population until the next demand. You would go forth to destroy the dragon yourself, but you no longer have the heart for such quests. Never have you felt so forlorn, so frail. You fear that given the choice, you would do anything to rectify the situation.
A charming view. No wonder you come here so often.
You. I will see you hanged for this intrusion. Guards! Guards!
Calling them will do you no good. For even if they come, they will find their king speaking to only the air he breathes.
A pox on thee! Who are you?
My name, my true name, has been heard by none for nigh on a millennium. It is enough that you know me as the Father.
Then say what you have come to say and be gone.
You never were one for small talk.
You cursed my family. As a result, that dragon is now loose upon the land and one of my children was kidnapped.
Now that is not quite the truth.
Do you deny your involvement?
Not at all. It is just that you have omitted so much.
Speak. And be gone.
Very well. I want your crown.
You cannot believe what you have just heard. This vile creature has caused untold misery throughout your land for nearly 18 years and has now infiltrated your castle just to ask that you hand over your authority to him? Of all the outrageous...
Is that what this is all about? You want to rule Daventry?
What would I want with a puny little kingdom when in a few short years I will have more power than Legitimor himself? No, I want only the thing you wear atop your head. Your crown. It is an essential part of my plan. Without it, my efforts to prepare for the ascension will have been in vain. I have waited far too long to be deterred from it now.
If you need it that badly, you could have just taken it. You had plenty of opportunities.
Are you completely ignorant of the legends of your predecessors? None can possess the crown of the first king unless it's given.
If you think for one moment that I would...
Before you speak further, consider this. In exchange for what I ask, I shall lift my curse and all that it entails from you and your blighted land. You shall have both it and your family restored in full. Minus your title, naturally.
Your mind reels at these words. For almost 2 decades, a countless number of innocent people have suffered under the afflictions Daventry has had to endure. So many more people would continue to suffer indefinitely, notwithstanding the pain you feel over your own family's misfortune. With a simple statement, you could put an end to it all.
To give you my crown would signify a change of leadership, so says the law of this land. It also says that the crown is to be worn only by those with the highest regard and intent for Daventry. So, to give it to such a vile being as you would betray the honor and memory of all the past kings who have worn it. No, I will not do it.
Not even for the sake of your family?
There are some principles for which even one's family must be sacrificed.
The man appraises you as a scientist would a unique specimen.
What an intriguing set of morals you have, King Graham. I almost look forward to the time when you will put aside your obligations here and seek me out. I have foreseen that we shall meet again.
Behold your third test.
Once again, you feel yourself age. You are many years older now, though still, thankfully, King of Daventry. As before, the knowledge of the previous test ebbs from your mind. This time, however, it is filled with a greater knowledge of all that has come to pass thus far. Many years have passed. Your children, once heirs to your throne, have forged their own paths in other kingdoms. Fortunately, chance has seen fit to fill the vacuum. Following the restoration of the Mask of Eternity, Daventry now has a new champion.
How do you feel?
I am deeply honored, sire.
All right. Now how do you really feel?
Scared out of my wits, sire.
You smile and feel the lines in your face stretch. You hope you'll get used to it when the true time comes.
You know what they've been saying. About my decision, that is.
The people question my ability to perform the duties when I have another higher obligation. I believe that I can attend to both with the utmost equity.
You do not deny that this obligation may arise at any moment, perhaps taking you away from this country at a time of great need?
Of course not, sire, but I shall deal with that troll, as they say, when I cross that bridge.
And there is the matter of you not being of royal birth. That does not sit comfortably with some of the nobles.
The qualities of truth, light, and order can shine from even the most impoverished of souls. Nobility is defined through one's actions, not one's lineage, Your Majesty.
You cannot help but smirk. For a man who had once lived as a peasant, he speaks extremely well.
Kneel. Your sword. By virtue of your bravery, loyalty, and good conscience, I have chosen you to be my first knight. Thus you are my successor and heir to this throne. Arise, Sir Connor of Daventry.
In an instant, you find yourself standing before the Cloud Spirit once more. You also notice that it is starting to get dark.
You have demonstrated your sound understanding of compassion, honor, and loyalty. These attributes transcend the mind and speak of the soul within you. Growth continues unabated throughout the lives of all living things. You have grown much, learnt a great deal, and will continue to grow in all ways. You are judged worthy of the Air and Growth Gem.
A green gem similar to your birth gem has appeared in the center of this cloud. You take the growth gem. As you feel the knowledge of the last test fade from your mind, the cloud beneath your feet begins to evaporate. You'd better get out of here quickly, Graham. Finally, your flight comes to an end. You hope that it will be quite a while before you take to the air again.
Where would you like me to land?
On the ground would be fine.
Take this sugar cube. It will protect against the poisonous growth of this land. Fare thee well.
You notice you have lost a few things during your descent, mostly all that paper you were carrying. You are not concerned, though, as long as you don't get into trouble for littering. As dusk sets in and the pallid moon rises above the darkened horizon, you recall the Door of Destiny's words regarding the third gem, through swampy mire, in lone dark castle. Then you remember the great Neptune's disquiet reluctance to speak of Kolyma's lord. You sense a growing unease that this final gem may not be the easiest to acquire.